So now we have our dice modeled. We need to figure out how we can get the information for which side they've rolled on through. So let's start with something simple like D6. We're going to bring this over. One of the simplest ways that we could do this is with texture information. Okay, so in our reference, what we need to do is essentially unwrap our dice so that we can paint this into a picture and apply it to the 3D surface, just like netting that you might have done in maths class. Okay, so to do this unwrapping process, we need to go over to the Edit tab and apply an unwrap modifier to our object. I'm just looking at some of the edges here though, just really quickly. I might see if there's something better than the weighted normals and retopology I can do with this. So I'm going to apply first a subdivide modifier, and that's going to reduce, hopefully, if I change this to variable curvature. Is going to change the amount of stretched triangles on surfaces. I can also see we've got some issues going on there, so I'm just going to quickly go back to this, and this is definitely not ideal what I've done here. So let's see what we can do in terms of creating this shape again. Let's go back to the box, create a cube, and let's chamfer these edges with only one segment this time. And then let's grab this and this. Let's do a chamfer again with only one segment. And I can see, right, so that's still giving us that same issue, but now I might be able to come in with the target world and just bring that down. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I just need to make sure I got all of the edges selected. Going to chamfer them so they are popping out, but I should be able to just grab this and target weld them in, and we should get a much better result from our retopology modifier. It's not as drastic as those ones though, is it? So I've done that a little bit wrong. Let's Control Z. Let's do a very large chamfer. Yeah, something much more like that. And now let's grab our edges. So that was the whole point of not just chamfering the whole box. There is also, if you go into extended, a chamfer box that we could do, but dice don't really look like that. They've got quite a unique chamfer on them. So, and this is definitely one of the sort of skills in terms of 3D modeling, is that you need to identify the shapes that you want to make and figure out how you can make these tools work for us to create the shapes that we want. So we can now quickly just weld those into again. What we're going for in this process is some cleaner topology for the retopology, because I did do it very sort of sloppily and quickly for simplicity in creating the first shape in the tutorial. Now, to be honest, even just that is not the worst. But what I'm going to try and do, because I'm not worrying too much about optimization in this task. I just want you to understand how to create shapes and silhouettes, and then you can worry about optimization and reducing topology down the line. So I'm going to add on a subdivide now. I'm going to do by variable curvature, and it should now give us, I'm going to increase that because it's a bit too dense. And I can see I've still got an issue over here. Yeah, there we go. Target world. There we go. Go back to this. And got another one here. Okay. Go back to this. And it's much easier to see now if there are any issues there. And now we've got so sharper edges. We should hopefully now get a better retopology result. Let's increase regularize, drop those. And that, I think, is a little bit cleaner than the other one, potentially. Just looking at the shading. We might want to reset this. Let's increase this and that just a little bit. No, it's definitely better down. It's don't worry too much about regularizing. See what happens. No, definitely did want that up. Now it's capturing too much detail. Let's try. There we go. Not enough. I think that is just just a little bit more workable with than that one. There we go. All right, so and you can go through those processes with these if you want. I mean, none of them are particularly bad. Once we've got the textures on them, like these small little shading issues definitely won't be an issue. Let's see if weighted normals also helps with this. Yeah, increases it a little bit. All right, so how to get texture detail on this. We're going to apply an unwrap modifier onto the mesh. Make sure the blue edit poly is selected and put that on. Open in here, and we should be able to select all of these surfaces. Now, very helpfully, because it's a box, it's quite simple to unwrap. We're going to click the box map, and that's going to split our islands, our UV islands, into these sections that we need it to be. It's done an okay job, and we're going to then just pack this. So we're going to deselect that now. That's set, and we want to use the pack custom button, and there we go. We've got the padding here which I think is reasonable. Now we're just going to go into the checker pattern, and we can see there's no distortion on this mesh. There we go. And if we go into the texture checker with this, you can just see a couple of these. So if we select element mode, grab that, and if we rotate and rotate, Oh, and we want it. Oh, it's mirrored, in fact, sorry. So if I grab that and instead we select, see, there is mirror. Here we go. Mirror. There we go. So we don't want inverted letters coming through. This is okay. That is also mirrored, so we're going to click the mirror button. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. And I believe this one is also. There we go. So, yeah. Right, so we've got now islands in which we can paint on. We could do this directly in 3ds Max with the viewport canvas, so we could draw directly onto it. But what I would recommend is exporting this out to whichever 2D package that you want, such as Photoshop or Paint will do. And to get a guide of where we can paint, we can actually export the UVW template. We've got it at 1024, but it's plenty for this. And if we render output, just pick a place for this to go. I will do the downloads folder, and we'll do UV template, and then we'll just save that as a PNG. And what I'm going to do is, because not everybody will have access to Pay Tools, I'm going to do this in a website called Photopea. There we go, and we'll do a new project. Sure, okay. Now let's close that, and we'll make a new canvas of 1024. 1024. We will create that, and there we go. We can press Windows E to open up Explorer, and I was sure I did save that in the downloads. Let's just go back to here. There we go. I've chosen the location, but I hadn't actually rendered and saved it. So let's just save that. Well, apparently I have. So let's go back to here and open downloads. There we go. Right then. So we have now a layer in which I would like that above. Can I import this as, yeah, there we go. On this background layer, I'm just going to put a black background using a paint bucket tool, just so I can see that a little bit better. Now I can turn this on and off. Let's use the text tool. Now this is one of the things that we might need to bounce between. Which surface, so maybe if we want this to be 6, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're on opposite sides. It doesn't really matter on a dice, but for your aesthetic control, you might want to select this and have a look where this one is. So we know that's for top, that's for bottom, that's that side, then that's connected. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, no, 1 and 6. Yeah, 1 and 6, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we will go back, and that's going to be different for you, depending on how you have laid out your particular. Right then. UVs. So let's do 1, and let's grab that, and make this a different color. Let's make this, I don't know, green. And we should be able to see this. Ah, there we go. And I should be able to increase the size of this. Great. And we can pick our font. So let's go for let's go for this one. All right. So now we've got that. Should be able to move this in place. And if I grab this and drag it onto new layer, there's the V key. Great, fantastic. The shortcuts do work. I'm just going to copy this onto all of these. All right, and now I should be able to go onto each one. 2. Oops. And then grab that. 3. 4. 5. And 6. And then I'm going to get another layer. And I'm just going to get a paint bucket and pick, let's see, something incredibly ugly. Go for something that would clash really badly with that. And that is what I want to export out. So if I do File, Export As, we'll just do a PNG really quickly. Save that. It's in my Downloads folder as UV Template 1. And now, if I press right click on here, convert this back to an editable poly, it's going to look like the pink blob. We can put this on here. We can change it to be black. So when we've got edge faces on, it looks like that. But on this material now, if we grab the base color reflections map slot, we go to bitmap, double click that. We navigate to our downloads folder or wherever you saved your texture, and we now have a texture map, and we might just need to tweak the positioning of some of these, but that is the process for texturing your dice. And you can pick whatever color you want. You could do patterns over them. If you wanted to do something a bit more complex in Substance Painter, we could definitely do things with planar mapping, so we could have a bit more freedom with the unwrapping. But that is how to do the details with textures. In the next episode, I'm going to do some more complex things with Booleans.